Hey, I'm Joel with Power Stance Import Export, and thanks for checking this video out. This vehicle is for sale, so if you have any questions about it or any other vehicles that we have for sale, you can find us online at powerstanceimport.com, or you can even call us at the number listed above and speak to me directly. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, this YouTube channel, or even the eBay store at Power Stance Import Export. We've always got new vehicles coming in, which means new videos, so please like and subscribe. We're a licensed used car dealer located right here in Oxford, Michigan, and we specialize in Land Rover Defenders. All right, thanks. Hey folks, and up for sale today I've got a beautiful 1994 Land Rover Defender 110 3-door with a 300 TDI in Carnes Blue. Now this is a UK import, so it is right-hand drive. It's now located here in Michigan and comes with a clean, clear Michigan title. So let me walk you around the vehicle. I'll show you the inside, the outside, the underside, and we'll take it for a test drive as well. So this vehicle was restored or refurbished back in 2005, I believe, and has only covered 17,000 miles since then, so less than 1,000 miles per year. So this vehicle has been used very little over the last 20 years and has been stored and kept in beautiful condition. All right, so let's go over the exterior first. We'll start here under the bonnet. This is the 300 TDI. Now, we'll try to show you all the blemishes in the vehicle if we can. Looks like somebody painted the entire motor black when they did the refurbishment, I'm guessing, and some of this black paint has peeled off because it's not supposed to be black. But that's what happened, and it is what it is. But looks like we've got a refurbished, rebuilt injection pump. We do have an all-sport intercooler, which is a much larger intercooler than stock. So it gives you a little bit more horsepowers, extra breathability. There's the turbo. Here is the intake side of the motor. I see a tiny bit of moisture on there, so the intake gasket might need to be changed out soon. Footwell's pretty decent shape. Now, there is a bit of rust here on the bottom of the passenger side footwells, but underneath that is new sheet metal, so the footwells have been repaired from the inside. And again, it's not anybody's fault. It's just this horrible design of a mud flap that for some reason there's no mud flap here. There should be, but there's not. And the outriggers look to have been replaced as well. So these outriggers are new and in beautiful shape. But the rest of the bulkhead is in pretty decent shape. Corners are good. Moving along here, checker plate on the wings, pretty standard up front. It does have a light bar here. Bumper could use a little bit of sanding and some Rust-Oleum. Take care of that real quick. But the rest of the paint is in gorgeous shape. This is Carnes Blue again. Very beautiful, very shiny paint. Okay, actually a little bit of a rust bubble here on this corner of the bulkhead. But seal's in pretty decent shape. Vents look good. Bonnet, beautiful. No dents in the bonnet or anything like that. Now, speaking of dents, there are a couple real inconspicuous dents in the vehicle. And if you just glaze by it, you didn't see it, but there is one right here. Kind of like a baseball-sized dent right there in the front wing. And then over here in the rear, behind the rear wheel arch, there's a dent right here. And again, it's pretty inconspicuous. It's pretty hard to see if you're not looking for it, but that's pretty much the only blemishes on the exterior of the vehicle. Everything else is gorgeous. The doors are in beautiful shape. No corrosion on the bottoms of the door skins or the tops. A little bit of wear and tear here from keys possibly, but the door frames are in beautiful shape. No welds or repairs done to these doors. So these are either replacement doors or original doors in beautiful shape. And moving along here to the rear, same story. Rear door in beautiful shape. A little bit of rust on the bottom, but not too bad. Nothing that needs to be welded or repaired. And same story on the passenger door. Beautiful shape. Door skins are gorgeous. Beautiful paint. And then the bottom of the frames are in great shape. So doors need nothing. Doors are a 10 out of 10. In the back here, we do have a couple jump seats that fold down and face forward with the seat belts here and the over the shoulder type seat belts. A couple speakers in the rear as well. Now I think the previous owner told me that this was a bike rack back here, so this could probably be removed. But lots of space back here, really durable with all the checker plate. Aftermarket carpet on the walls and on the roof as well. So everything super tidy back here. Sliding windows up front, and these are just regular non-sliding windows in the rear. So plenty of visibility out the back here. Visibility. Adjustable hitch with steps as well, and there's your rear crossmember in beautiful shape. Now that has been replaced. Probably was done back in 2005. That's where it was cut and welded right there. So you can see the back side of the rear crossmember in beautiful shape. There's your inner wheel wells, and we'll get underneath the vehicle later. We do have a nice set of side steps. Again, kind of the same shape as the front bumper. It could be scraped down and repainted with some Rust-Oleum, something to dress it up a little bit, but they are super solid. Capping's in decent shape. Corners are good. And you do become a Ferrari Owners Club of Hong Kong by purchasing this vehicle, because the sticker says so. Again, no scratches or dents or anything significant in the paint. Gorgeous shape. On the passenger side here, this is the Techno pattern seat covers. Those have been updated with the restoration as well. Center cubby box. Custom carpet set. Now, unfortunately, these carpets have been riveted in. So I can pull the front back here, and you can see the footwells. Pretty decent shape. This is normally where they get rusty, just like that right there. A little bit of rust right there, but nothing significant. Let's see if we can get this. That's glued down, but you can see the sheet metal's in good shape. All right. The door's all shut nice and solid. And we do have a 16-inch Defender Boost alloys on a nice set of, what are these? Coopers. All right, those are Cooper Discoverers. 235/85 R16. And under the bonnet here, this has been sprayed down with some rust proofing. A little bit of rust under here, but nothing too serious. I'm trying to show you every little part of the vehicle. All right, windscreen seal looks good. No chips or cracks in the windscreen. Again, I do love this color. This is Carnes Blue. This is the first Defender I've had in this color. Door cards, those have also been sprayed with like a texture. Looks okay. Black to match the interior. We do have this beautiful wood grain aftermarket steering wheel. A couple little aftermarket switches here for the front lights, I believe. And then your dome light is right there. 17,000 miles on the clock. So pretty safe to say it hadn't covered very much from 94 to 2005. So probably maybe 120,000 miles total at the most. We got the R380 and 5-speed manual. So glow plug light comes on and off. Gauges are working. Starts right up. Does run fantastic. Take a look at the oil cap. Clean looking oil. No blow by or back pressure. Alright, so let's take it for a test ride. Okay, so let's take her for a spin down the road. Check out the gear changes, the steering and braking and all that stuff. And so this is a really good looking Defender. Paint is gorgeous, interior super clean. Underside looks like a 30-year-old Defender under there, unfortunately. Not very pristine underneath, but not easily, but very, without any repairs. It can be cleaned up, okay, to make it look pretty again. But chassis is solid, bulkhead pretty solid, a small little rust bubble here, but the doors are perfect. Chassis is in good shape, footwells have been repaired, outrigger's been repaired. So lots of work done to this vehicle. So it's not a perfect 10 out of 10, but it does run and drive great. It does have low mileage, and it has been completely gone through 20 years ago or so. But again, very low use since then. And it does have this awesome steering wheel. I love it. Okay, so there's second gear and third gear. And unfortunately, we do have some traffic in front of us here, which is not normally the case, but we'll still get a good test drive in. And it's just barely above freezing right now, so the roads did get a little bit muddy. So we're gonna get a little dirty, but anyways, what can you do? There's fourth gear. And we're doing about 35 miles an hour. Cruising along nicely. I'm not hearing any kind of bumps or rattles coming out of the suspension, so the suspension is working properly. The bushings are working properly as well. They're just not brand new. So we'll go ahead and downshift into third gear here. Very low RPMs, and it's just crawling right up this hill. And we're gonna let this guy turn into his driveway here. All right, so let's go ahead and accelerate. That's second gear. Third gear. Fourth gear. And fifth gear. Very quiet gear changes. No clunking out of the gear changes or anything like that. I hear a little bit of rattling coming from the rear seats when they're strapped up like that. But that's about it. It's pretty quiet in here. All right, so there we are, hard on the brakes. Did slide a little bit because the roads are icy. But no shaking or squeaking from the brakes. And they are working properly. So there's reverse gear. All right. Let's see what kind of traction we can get on the road here. First gear, second gear. Yeah, engine runs nice and strong. There's fourth gear at 45 miles an hour and fifth gear. Alright, so she's running great. Temperature's holding right there in the middle. Heat's coming out nice and hot. And she does run and drive great. Alright, thanks for watching. Okay, so let's take a look underneath the vehicle, starting off here in the rear. Alright, and the main theme underneath this entire undercarriage is going to be slight surface rust, being that this vehicle has only covered 17,000 miles in the last 20 years, so it has done its fair share of sitting. So everything is functional, brakes, shock springs, all functional, but as you can see, the coating on the springs has peeled off and they're a little rusty, but again, they all work fine. No leaking out of the rear axle. There's a new rear A-frame ball joint, and a new exhaust tailpipe as well. New rear cross member, that's in beautiful shape, and that's where it was cut and welded. Fuel tank, again, just the cover has slight surface rust on it, and there is the rear cross member. So no repairs needed to the chassis, just good cleaning. Okay, and here we are on the right side of the vehicle, or the driver's side. Here's a good look at the chassis. Definitely has rust on the chassis. Needs to be coated. There's no holes or anything structural going on with the chassis, but as you can see, it's got really old rust proofing on here. Wax oil, and this stuff is all just flaking off. So the chassis needs a good power washing and a new coating of wax oil. But it's all in pretty decent shape. It's all still solid, but again, all the wax oil is just peeling off, not doing anything anymore. There's the rest of the chassis. Front outriggers have been replaced as well. You can see right there where it's been welded. So those are new, or newer. And there's a good look at the center diff. Very clean. Don't see any drips coming out of there. And there's your drive shaft, rear axle, no leaks from the pinion seal. And there's the new hardware there for the rear A-frame ball joint. Okay, and here we are on the left side of the vehicle, the passenger side. The main center section of the chassis looks nice and clean. But again, there's the battery box, pretty decent shape. No holes or rusts. It's just, again, the wax oil is just needs to be scraped off and recoated. It's a big job, very tedious, but will prevent the chassis from rusting any further. So all nice and solid. Outriggers. Here's your side steps hooked on right there. There's your rear control arm bushings in pretty decent shape. Rear axle, shocks and springs. The shock mounts, I believe those have been replaced. Those are in pretty decent shape. But yeah, this is, you know, a good looking chassis in my opinion. It just needs to be coated again. Needs to be cleaned up. It's all solid, but just a little bit of surface rust, or a lot of surface rust, but nothing that can't be handled. Okay, up front here, dumb irons look good, nice and solid. This is where you can actually put your jack in here and lift up the vehicle on both sides. Those are usually notoriously a rusty area on the chassis, and these are pretty good. Front cross member, good. There's your steering stabilizer. I do see a little bit of dry rotting in this bushing here on the steering stabilizer, which could give a little bit of vibration in the steering. Tie rod ends, they look okay, a little bit tired, but they're doing their job. They're not moving around or anything, but not too bad. Front swivels also not too bad. That swivel retainer ring is a little rusty, but it's holding the seal in properly and it doesn't look to be leaking. Again, shocks and the springs up front have that rust proofing that's peeling off, and not the prettiest of springs and shocks, but they are doing the job. Front of the motor here, it looks like it's starting to leak at the front of the oil pan. I don't see anything leaking down here at the bottom, so it's just kind of up front here. Pretty easy job. Take the oil pan off, reseal it, put it back on. I do see a new oil filter there, so that's been done recently. Steering drop arm looks good. It doesn't, not a whole lot of play in that, so that's in decent shape. Front control arm, bushings look okay. And all in all, it's a pretty solid vehicle. It does need a little bit of work here underneath with some wearable parts, but all in all, pretty decent runner and super clean looking bell housing, gearbox, transfer case, all that stuff.